This is Saar On Tour. I'm Saar, your host, and I'm taking you along to the biggest race of the year, the Tour de France. Feel the atmosphere from your sofa, hear real voices from the roadside, and get the latest takes from our own She Rides analysts. The race is on right now, and you're coming with... Well, hi everyone to the first episode of Saar On Tour, live from Monréac. We're about 25 minutes from Lumelec, where the stage finished. And we're, let's say, 2.5 hours after Marianne Vos took the first yellow jersey and the victory in the first stage. Well, so it has been quite a long travel to here. We left home on Thursday. And then we drove to Rouen, where we stayed the night. And then that was about 4 hours. And then we drove about another 4 hours to Vannes, where we on Friday discovered the city a bit, went dinner and stuff like that. And then, yeah, this morning it was actually pretty chill, since it was an evening stage. So we went just to the beach a bit and we did a picnic and stuff. So yeah, then we're here. I have to admit, it's, it feels a bit awkward to just talk to myself. I'm used to hosting an episode with two, or at least with a guest. So it's something I'm getting used to for the moment, but I'll try my best. And tomorrow we will have an analyst joining me on the podcast. So I'll just talk the first stage. So we had a stage from Vannes to Plumelec. It was quite a hilly stage. I think most people underestimated it, because in the end it was more for the Pinchers GC riders than it was for the types of Balsamo Wibis and riders. I had the feeling it was, there was, it was a bit divided between people who believed in strong sprinters and others who believed it would be GC immediately. So the stage started actually with an attack from Laura Tomazzi, the first rider to get away there. And then we had a counterattack from Maat Rijnbeek from Volkers Wessels. And then it was a very short stage. So in the end, not too long. But they also didn't have a very big gap, but they were with two for some kilometers. And then when it was time for the first Queen of the Mountain, then Maat Rijnbeek dropped Tomazzi and she took the mountain points there. So that was that. And then they came closer to where my dad and I, were standing today. And that was 500 meters from the finish. So on Côte de Cadoudal. A lot of crowds, really. I would say the biggest crowd, apart maybe from the Olympics for a women's race. It was crazy and super nice to see. Already I arrived at 3:30, which means that's over 3 hours before the race. And there was already a lot of crowd. It was still easy to find a spot, but a lot of people there already. So that's super nice for the Grand Départ. First things first, it's just good thing to have it here in Brittany, since there are a lot of cycling loving people here. But just the overall people here, it was very good to see. A lot of enthusiasm. They had like their virage for some French riders like Kerbaol or Brittany even Kerbaol, and we were not too far from the freshly French champion Marie Lenné. So that was nice to see. I also spray painted the road a bit for our guests and of course for Lotte as well. But the main thing actually was when the peloton arrived was, of course, we just saw that crash with Lippert and stuff, and we saw Marle Reusser actually the whole day, can you call it the day? No, the whole stage in the back. And we saw Marle Reusser helping Lippert on the bike, which, of course, if you haven't been following it, Reusser has been ill in and after the Giro, and then she had food poisoning 2 days ago, I think. So yeah, as I can quote her, the health is bad, the shape is good. But yeah, it was very sad to see when she arrived at the climb. She was already just before the last car on the road. And we saw her making a sign to the DS that it's just also the tempo, and I would say you could see from afar this wasn't Reusser who was feeling all right and ready to perform. So we saw her do a sign at the DS like, no, this isn't gonna work. I think she tried for a little bit further, but yeah, if it really won't work, then it's just better to quit, because there's a beautiful about never giving up. But I think it's very important in life, in cycling, to never give up, but to also be aware about what is good for you, both mental and physical, since just keep doing stuff while it's actually unhealthy isn't gonna make you better in any sort of way. So I think it's a good decision to leave there, which was, of course, very sad for the race and the tour on itself, because we've seen Marlin in a good shape this year, and it has been absolutely wonderful to watch. A super attractive rider coming pretty close to Vollering. So that's an a superstar less and a favorite for the GC, maybe less in this tour, which is not the nicest thing, of course, but overall it was a good stage. There was some attractive racing from Vlodarczyk, Koch, Barali, and some others, of course. But it was obvious the only and the most heavy obstacle was the Côte de Cadoudal. So it was obvious it was gonna be decided there. So yeah, then at the last Côte de Cadoudal, there was a lead-out attack sort of thing from Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, and we were pretty far from the screen, so it was hard to see. So we saw a Visma rider winning, and it was like, oh, okay, she won. Pretty nice win. The French will be happy. But then we heard that it apparently was Vos, and Kim Lecour got second, which was funny to see, because in the cars there was some frustration going on there, which was just then it was pretty clear that Kim Lecour got second. But I think I've even put it out as my quotes. It would be a full circle moment if Marianne Vos would take yellow in the opening stage. And it is like the greatest of all time in women's cycling. Taking the yellow jersey is just something that's it feels like an achievement, but it's also very nice for women's cycling to see her in a yellow jersey, which is, of course, more than deserved. It was a Visma Lease Bike masterclass, I think. I think if Kim Lecour wasn't that strong, Ferrand-Prévot could have won as well. She got a bit slower in the end, and then Vos saw that in time, and she sprinted. Vos is boss. So, that was in terms of winning. Some other remarkable facts is, we can get around the fact that, of course, Lotte Kopecky didn't really compete for the victory there. Yeah, I would have wanted to not see that, of course. Yeah, let's hope it gets better. Not just for myself, I guess, but also for this tour. Can be neutral right now, but the main point here is actually to which point is it necessary to give your big quotes and write your articles about an athlete who is doing its best and probably knows this wasn't what they came to the tour for and what other people would see. So I'm always kind of in a struggle with that one, at how we look at athletes and how I think media still has a big impact on women's cycling because there are coming newer people into the sport. So I don't know. I think media could play a role in making sports media a bit more human, which could be nice, instead of coming out with your big quotes the moment your own superstar doesn't perform as everyone would like to see, which is kind of a hard one for me on that. So let's just hope it gets better, because everyone here on the tour, it can be the last one today. Someone like Sylvie Swinkels, who was pretty far on her own, but gave everything. and was there on her own, which people would say, why? This isn't very motivating, but they all do their best to make it to the finish. So yeah, even the superstar you expected to compete for the win maybe finished on more than a minute. They did what they could. And same as Marianne Vos, she took the stage, she did what she could. And same as someone who's finishing 10 minutes later, she also did what she could. So it would be good to maybe be more human. But for the rest of the stage, of course, we had Kim de Koe on 2. Then we had a 3 for Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Nivea Doma got 4th. That was the last one in that time, which is, I think, very promising to see Nivea Doma do this, because there was a gap of 3 seconds on Vollering. Also very good, Puk Pietersen on 5 seconds. Same with Anna van der Breggen, 5 seconds is also a good performance for her. I think this one feels good after the Giro she did. And then actually my shout out of the day. Every day I'm handing out some kind of trophies like shout out, highlight, whatever of the day. Today my shout out of the day goes to Eline Jansen from Volkers Wessels. It's a Dutchie. She's been riding very, very decent this year. She's 23 years old, and if you heard the names I was talking about right now, she is the only Pro Tour rider who is just being out there in the top 10 between all these superstars. So yeah, that's my shout out of the day. That was a crazy and nice performance. I'm all in for the non-big names just being able to show themselves and their talent. So that was a super cool one. Eline Jansen on 8. We have Paulina Royakkers on 9, which is also, I think, very promising. And 5 for Georgie on 10 to round it up. We have the new, or the first Queen of the Mountains jersey on 12, Elise Chabet. And for the Frenchies, Kerbal also ended in between 9 seconds. We had Wiebes on 16 seconds. Trinka Colonel lost the same amount. Then I think Sarah, 21 seconds. Yeah, that's very okay. Hectic stage, first stage, not the easiest one. Punchy, so 21 seconds is very okay. Also in that time is no, Lotte Class is in the same time, and La Bousse is also in the same time. And then we have Barbara Malcotti, second she rides guest on 34 seconds, together with Caroline Swinkels. Nienke Vinke, outsider over the white jersey, maybe on 33. Then let me scroll. Longo Borghini, but yeah, she kind of said she was doing stage ones and not GC, 52 seconds. And let me see, Rianne Marcus in the same time as Lotte Kopecky, 104. Then we had the whole Visualise bike team coming in together, or like the 4 riders, the four riders together, which was kind of fun to see. Petra Stjasny came in on 6 minutes and 15 seconds, same as Margot van Pachtenbeke. So yeah, I couldn't clearly see how they got this far. I think Margot was stuck behind the crash, but I can't be for sure. Yeah, footage with not much data connection at Côte de Cadoudal, and a screen a couple of 100 meters for isn't the easiest to follow, just with some radio flashes and some updates, and then trying to use your imagination and see some stuff there. It was a nice experience for the first day, I would say. I've also learned my lesson. Don't adjust your picks last minute, because normally I had Marianne Vos planned and Lotte for tomorrow, but I heard Lotte's interview and I was like, nah, Lotte tomorrow. Well, now I have 0 points in our fantasy league. It could have been 5. So that was my very smooth transition to our game. We have our top 3 both predicted Marianne Vos, which is Christophe, our absent co-host of today, this episode of She Rides in general. Margot van Pachtenbeke and Petra Stjasny both didn't have the day they hoped for, I guess, but they did score very well in the prediction game. Then to complete the top 5, we had 2 people predicting Kim Lecour, Sarah Gigante, and Tim de Vries. And then all the others are with 0 points right now. So that kind of makes it less sad, I think, to be with so much people who didn't score on this one. But yeah, actually, this went pretty fast on my own. Kind of impressed. I think it went very well. I will see in the listeners' figures, I guess. But yeah, tomorrow it's another hilly stage. Some people think it's a little less hard, but it's longer. So I would say maybe something like this today. Maybe also something for the powerhouse sprinters like Lorena Wiebes. We will see. For me, it's gonna be an early one because I decided to not drive another 2 hours after this late finish, which does mean I'm doing 2 hours tomorrow morning with an earlier start than the other days. I think like they did today to avoid the clash with the Tour de France zone. I'm leaving at 8. It's at the moment 20 minutes past 10. So that one's gonna hurt. So I'm doing start in Brest and finishing Quimper, which will be nice. Yeah, hopefully we see a good stage for our She Rides guests. No crashes, not stuck behind the crashes, not too much time loss. We keep this one going because I think it was very promising to see the likes of Ferrand Prévot and Nivea Doma and Van der Breggen even do pretty well on these climbs. So we'll be excited to see, I think, to see what the comeback kids, not very much kids anymore, can do this tour. So yeah, I am gonna leave it at that. Thanks for joining me on this first episode of Saar On Tour. If there's something you'd like me to do different, please let me know. That's a wrap. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so you don't miss upcoming episodes. Follow She Rides podcast or at Reusser to get the latest Saar On Tour updates and coverage from the Tour de France Femme. And don't forget to rate our podcast. That helps us getting more listeners. Hope you enjoyed this one. Keep watching the fun this week, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye!